Hey guys, welcome back. We're starting a new series today in which I will be walking through Dark Souls 3. So, since I'm a veteran player, I'm gonna be doing my best to, give all the hints and tips I can. I'm gonna throw a lot of the lore in there, so, just to make it a little bit interesting. I'm gonna show you shortcuts. I'm gonna try to not die. I'm probably gonna fail. And we are doing this online, so maybe we'll even get invaded, and I can kind of show you how to deal with an invader. Again, I'll probably die. But
indeed.
Let's get this started.
It is called Lothric, where the transitory lands of the Lords of Cinder converge. In venturing north, the pilgrims discover the truth of the old words. The fire fades, and the lords go without thrones. Of cinder from their graves. Aldrich, saint of the deep, Farron's undead legion, the Abyss Watchers. And the reclusive lord of the profaned capital. Yon the giant. Only in truth, the lords will abandon their thrones. And the unkindled will rise. Nameless, accursed undead, unfit even to be cinder. And so it is that ash seeketh embers.
And this is us. Is it us? Huh. Where is our character? Oh, this is quite odd. Huh. Very odd indeed. Well, the good thing is it doesn't really matter what we look like because I know what I'm going to be. So, first, let's start with the classes. My advice to you, if you're new at the game, and I mean new as in you haven't played Dark Souls 1 or 2, so this is your first Dark Souls game, go with Knight. I mean, it's a very, very simple, well-rounded class. It has a really good weapon, a weapon that if you really wanted it to, it could carry you through the entire game. Other classes, Mercenary, it wields 2 cell swords. That's a really fun weapon to use. It absolutely tears, through bosses and things that kind of stand still a little bit. So, not enemies that don't move very much. It'll just destroy them. Not too good in PvP, though. Warrior, really good if you're trying to start a strength class. Herald, I personally don't care for the spear, but it does start with a 100% block shield and a talisman that you can use. So it's an okay class. I don't like spears, so I wouldn't use it. Thief, a bit of a harder class to use, but it does give you a parrying shield and a knife that does crit. So if you like doing critical attacks, then Thief is the way to go. Has a bow as well. Only class that starts with a bow. Assassin, parrying shield, S-stock, and a sorcerer staff. S-stock's kind of like a rapier. It does stab attacks. Okay class, not my favorite. Again, I don't really like the rapiers. Sorcerer is a sorcerer, so you're going to be focused mainly on magic. He also has a mail breaker, which is not too bad of a weapon. Has a pretty high crit, decent damage for a dagger, so pretty decent class. Pyromancer is really good if you wouldn't want to just spam fireballs at bosses and things. It's a pretty well-rounded class. As a starter weapon is an axe, just a regular wood axe. So it does decent damage, has decent amount of health. It's another pretty well-rounded class. So it's a decent one. Cleric starts with a mace and a war catalyst, so a chime. Not bad per se. It's one of those things that you're gonna have trouble leveling up. If you rely on the spells, at least you don't get attack spells until a little bit later in the game, so it's gonna be hard at first. But it can be a really good class once you get there. And then if you've beaten all the Dark Souls games like 1 and 2 before and you want to start a new class as Deprived, you get absolutely nothing out of it, but you basically start naked with a club. The club's a really good weapon. The shield, though, is horrible on this class. Worst shield maybe in the entire game. It's just so bad. So you'd be better two-handing the club and just going around with that. Not a horrible class if you know what you're doing. You can put out a ton of damage with that thing, the club, but I wouldn't start it unless you are sure you're ready for it. So for the sake of this, we're gonna start with Knight, since that's what I'd advise all you to start with. All these are okay for certain things. For instance, Hidden Blessing, you could do if you were a sorcerer and planning on spamming a lot, but I'd advise going with either Life Ring, maybe the Black Fire Bombs, as they're really good for bosses. I'm gonna go with the Sovereignless Soul. That's what I always go with. I didn't want to get rid of that. Rusted Gold Coin. If you know you're gonna get or want to get a weapon that's a drop from somebody, go with the Rusted Gold Coin. It'll improve your chances of getting that drop. Cracked Red Eye Orb. If you're gonna invade a lot, then sure, go with this. I wouldn't, honestly, but and the Young White Branch is it doesn't do much, but it is cool that you can just turn into a pot or something. But I'm again gonna go with the Sovereign Soul. So facial presets kind of weird because we can't see what we are, so I'm gonna go with this. I've beaten this game enough times that I kind of know what I'm going with. Appearance. Face detail. Oh, there he is, man. What? He's not moving or anything on my screen, but he's there at least. Color. Yeah, so I'm definitely not gonna do much into this character creation, but I always make my character's eyes blue. I'll make his hair. Might keep his hair like that. Actually, oh, nothing's changing. I don't know what's going on with the character creation. Beard. Where's the scruff? That. And I think that'll be good for now. We don't need to do too much details. You could spend all the time on that. And that's what our knight's gonna look like up close, I guess. But with that, oh wait, I need to give him a name. I'm just gonna do the regular Knack Skull. Yep. And we are ready to begin. I haven't, of course. So, I'm not sure why, but my internet at my house went out, so we are actually not going to get invaded, at least today. But today we're only doing the cemetery bash anyways, so it shouldn't be a problem. So, the important thing for new players to do, if you haven't played this before, read these. They're necessary, like that one especially. Nobody does this in the beginning. It's R to target lock and release. It's very, very necessary for you to do that. You're not going to get very far in this game if you're not doing that. It's just something you gotta do. Over here to the side, you have a soul usury corpse. That's 200 souls. In the beginning, you want as much souls as possible so you can level up. Souls is the currency of the game. And then we got the Ash and Es's flask. What that does is, you see how in the top left corner there are 3 lines. The red one is your health, the blue one is called your FP, we'll get to that, and the green one is your stamina. So you get hit, your health goes down, you roll, you take a hit on your block, your stamina goes down. Your FP is for your magic and your weapon ability. So, for instance, when you two-hand any weapon, if you press LT, you go into your weapon ability. This one is stance, which you could either press RB. By the way, I'm using the Xbox controller if you haven't figured that out. RB does that, which is good for getting rid of shields, and this is good for getting rid of shields. Each weapon has different weapon arts. Some are the same, some are unique. For straight swords, a lot of them will do stance. And great swords, it's like stomp, and katanas are, oh, what are they? They're hold, I think, which you can parry or slash. So all these red ones on the ground, since we're offline, these are all ones the game gives you. And again, read these. They'll tell you really how to play the game. For instance, critical attacks. Backstabbing is a really good way to go in this game because it does a lot of damage. Does being aware of where your enemies are. For instance, I know where they all are, so I can get away with kind of being reckless, but Dark Souls is definitely a game where you want to be careful when going around the corners. This is the way you're not really supposed to go. In fact, I'm pretty sure there's a sign back there, which I haven't read, that says, warning, tough enemy ahead, or something like that. And the reason it says that is because of that guy right there. Now, there is no reason to actually kill this guy unless you're planning on using a boss weapon, because when he drops in a Titan's, which is one of the things that you use to upgrade weapons. weapons, specifically boss weapons. There's a lot of lag on my screen, but so if you hit him enough times, he'll stagger and you can critical him. The important thing is to just keep your shield up and watch his attacks. You don't, if you're new to this, you don't know what to do. So, and then you want to make sure to watch your health while you're playing, or else you're not gonna get very far. But keep kind of scrolling around here, and that's one Lizard Dead and one Titanite Scale for us. And then you also, as a bonus, get a Soul of an Unknown Traveler, which is either 200 or 400 souls, I do not remember. But it may come in helpful later on. So for this run, I'm not exactly sure what weapon I'm going to use. Probably the broadsword, since it is a, it's a well-rounded, versatile weapon. Of course, I can give hints as we go along as to what weapons are good and what weapons aren't good. That is a decent weapon. In fact, most straight swords are decent weapons. So you don't have to do this, but once you reach this bonfire, these are the saving points of the game. You rest them, you get all your Estus flasks back, which are your heals, and you also get the emote rest. And the way you pull up emotes is just press the select button, and you have all these ones here. Anyways, which you can roll out of at any time, unlike Dark Souls 1, which you cannot roll out of. The enemies get a little tougher. So usually I'd be one-hitting them, like before I was one-hitting them. And there you had to make a jump to get onto this thing. You might have to go around a few times and make a few tries, but you get a Titanite Shard, which is helpful later on. You have to go later on. And then this guy you can kind of practice dodging if you like. Not too tough. And then before we go in, I'm just gonna clear out some of this. Show you a useful item for the first boss if you're having trouble with it. So again, you can just go right back up here. My advice is kind of aim for the tree, run until you see the edge and jump, and then you'll just roll into the wall and you can pick it up. So that's how you get that. Again, it might take a few tries, but eventually you'll start flawlessing it every time you do it. Okay, so you can also, there's a path down here, which I will not take. I will, in fact, be dropping in on these guys. So, you get the Fading Soul from that guy and these fire bombs, which are very useful against Udex Gundyr, the first boss. Let's go fight him now. So this is one of the only bosses in the game. I'm not sure if it's the only one, but it's definitely one of the only bosses in the game you cannot get help with. And he's very passive at first. If you go up to him, you can pull a sword out, which will activate the fight. As soon as you pull it out, you can start swinging, get a full stamina bar as about it hits him. He takes reduced damage while he's down. And parry. Which I have done. I missed one. Very satisfying to parry. Again, not something I do if you do not know what to do. Keep your distance, watch the axe, make sure he doesn't, just be patient. The second phase of the transformer is just don't get intimidated, you just gotta stay close to him. Shield up, watch the attacks. You can stay far away from him, but again, some of his attacks have a very long range, so just keep that in mind. And that is the end of the next one. Sword Fragment. Curiously, Udex Gundyr is, like, he has another boss in this called Champion Gundyr that you fight much, much later in the game. He's one of the late game bosses. And it's a very, very fun fight, but the game kind of implies that there's a time travel element almost to the, that guy, where he basically comes to Fireland, tries to be the champion that lights the fire, and is found not worthy, so instead he guards the place. So I picked up a broken straight sword, one of the worst weapons in the game, which I managed to actually beat the game with, luckily. But I would advise not using it unless you're doing it for the moves or something. Down here, I'm gonna shield the next guy, as you see. But get this homeward bone. Could be helpful. I usually do not pick that one up. It's not necessary for me, but so with this guy, if you hold or press forward and right bumper at the same time, you can shield kick and a riposte, and that does the same amount of damage as a parry. So quite a bit of damage. You can get in there. Over on this side, be sure to keep your shield tucked up as you go around this corner, because there is a doggy waiting for us. Sometimes he just lunges forward without barking, other times he gives you the opportunity to attack him and you get nimmer. Now, again, what I'd advise before going over there at all, go down here. Light this and then sit at it. Actually, you don't really have to sit at it, but make sure it's lit. So this will make this bonfire your spawn point. If you die, there's a rather tough enemy up here, which I might not even fight. I haven't decided yet. If you want the Uchi Katana early on, then yes, you had to kill this enemy. And there is a cheese where you can make him fling himself off the... Ooh, I did not hear that. Fling himself off the cliff there, and he'll just instant kill himself. Yeah, I think I'm going to save him for later. I'd advise you do the same. He gives an Uchi Katana and his clothes, which are, again, some of the worst in the game, if not the worst in the game. And then over here, you get more homeward bones. Another homeward bone. So next up, we have the glitch, which is very, very good to know early on. It's a very big help to new players, and everyone's pretty confident that the developers put this in the game on purpose. So what you do, I might not get this right the first couple of times, probably not, but taking off all your clothes helps with this. It reduces your weight and makes you faster and jump higher. But you basically aim at this tree, try to run off it, and jump at the same time, and you land on this roof, which is an area you would normally get to or have to pay 20,000 souls for a key. We just got onto it really easily with just our naked mod. This roof is helpful for several reasons. The first I'm going to show you, and I can also show you the guy I was talking about. Right over there, we have the Sword Master. If you do manage to beat him early on, he can be summoned as a helpful phantom. I'm not going to summon him. He is, again, a helpful phantom. He can help you quite a bit, but I'm not going to summon him. But if you go over here, make sure you go to this side of this guy, so if he runs away, you catch him. But you get your first Twinkling Titanite shard, and and if you're using a Titanite weapon in the beginning of the game, that will let you instantly upgrade it. Okay, so backtrack around here and go into this little doorway, and be careful you don't fall off the cliff. Scale this to right here. You can drop things to, I forget what the crow's name is in this game, but dropping certain things will give you certain items. I might make a video about that later. I'm not gonna bother with it right now. But you get another Estus shard, which is extremely helpful at this stage in your playthrough. Well, at any stage, another Estus shard. You hit that, it's an illusory wall. You can drop down here, and then go over to this, and another helpful item for new players is the Covetous Serpent Ring. Immediately equip this so you don't forget about it, as it allows foes to yield more souls when they die. This will ensure you get the most possible souls for your playthrough. It's one of the rings that I keep on for most of the playthrough. I'll get to the level ups in a little bit. You can talk to everyone here. Easy way to get rid of your souls, talk to this person, and then go to sell item, and then you can just sell all your souls for their actual worth. And you can do that quicker than you would popping them. You can also talk to this guy, and he will give you another emote.
Well, you're not
I'm
allowed
not
to
gonna
be conniption,
have
and it
him talk,
weird.
but he gives a collapse
Don't you
gesture.
think?
And then everyone's best friend, Andre, Restorer.
Well, I am Andre, as humbles your
And this guy's gonna level up all your weapons. And since I don't have anything to level up my weapons with, I will wait. But be sure to go, unless you're a sorcerer and you actually want your FP flask, go to a lot of Estus and put it in your actual Estus flask so you have it to heal you instead of just rejuvenating. But
Pretty.
we'll get to that later. There's nobody else to really talk to here, I think. But we can
Welcome
talk
to the
to
one
her,
time I take
and
the
we'll
Lord
get
to be
level
sent.
up. Now this
Very well,
this
then
is
cupcake
very
nourishment
much
from
you
these
can do it how you want to do it.
souls.
I'm gonna explain how I do it. So whenever I'm doing my weapon runs, what I do is I'll get the stats in strength, dex, intelligence, or faith, or whatever, in whatever I need. I'll get that up to the point where I can use my weapon. No higher, no lower. And then what I'll do is I'll just level into vigor and endurance, just as much as possible. I'll level them equally. Sometimes I'll put more into vigor at first. But already we're getting pretty high health, and that's really good if you're new at the game. You can escape a lot of death blows by having a ton of health and a ton of stamina. Also, kind of throws PvP people off because they see how much health you have, and they see how much you can spam R1 or RB, and they can kind of freaks them out and throws them off sometimes. So with that is the Untended Graves. That's going to be our first episode, the end of our first episode, and we will continue this and get to the game proper, Lothar Castle, in our next video. If you liked what you are watching, then hit the like button, hit subscribe, and hit that notification bell. If you want to comment on anything, if you want to see me do anything in the game, then leave a comment down below. And I will see all you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.